I made this video for my client because we just had this conversation and I don't want you to have to go back and read our notes. Maybe this is an easier format for you to reinforce what we talked about at the end. If you will recall, you asked me, how do you create internal motivation when there is no external deadline? I asked you right away, how did you get something done when there was an external deadline? You told me, well, I just banged it out all night. I just made sure that it happened. And it's like, well, why? You told me that it would suck if you didn't. You thought about the consequences of not turning in that journal article that you wrote. It would be bad. So we have to remember that when we are at a deficit of dopamine, the I want to do it again chemical, it's going to be really hard for us to bring forward the reason to do this thing until the last minute. And then we're kind of doing this panic version because it's like, uh-oh, I'm totally going to be screwed if I don't do this. We use a little bit of that adrenaline to get us going as opposed to the dopamine. It's hard to get. All right, so that's what you did when you stayed up all night. How do we recreate that? Thing one, we bring forward the consequences. I don't have to make a dentist appointment for this cavity. I could literally let my tooth rot out of my mouth and I'm pretty healthy. I probably wouldn't die. But if I did let it go for too long, I would have to get a root canal. It would cost me a lot of money. A root canal sucks. Ever had one? They're terrible. Another crown? I have 6. I've learned my lesson. So, consequence. Ouch, right? What about the benefit? What if you were to bring forward that feeling of, if I did call the dentist and I did follow through and go to this appointment and I did get this cavity treated and I avoided the huge expense of a root canal, the whole procedure, going back to the dentist, how would that feel? How would it feel if I reinforced the fact that this was important and I did that? I followed through. It would feel good. What is that feeling? That's the dopamine. That's the I want to do it again. I want to do the thing. You bring that forward. So most people, they just kind of naturally do that, apparently. I don't know, I have ADHD, I wouldn't know. But we don't. So we have to bring that forward. Consequences, positives. Why will it suck? How will I benefit? All right? The last part that's super important, because we have ADHD, we have to externalize the information. So if we know it will suck if we don't do the thing for these reasons, we have to take those reasons out of our head and put them somewhere safe. I always say this, you're great, your brain's beautiful, you're very creative, you're very smart, I promise. You're not less than, but your brain, it's not a safe place to store information, especially when it comes to doing things that you don't want to do. Your brain's gonna be like, what thing? I went and I stored it, over there. Because it doesn't want to do the thing. Because it can't remember, why it would feel good. Because dopamine, we don't, where is it? Okay? So, set alarms. In the title of the alarm, put the consequence for not doing the thing. Don't ask yourself to interpret, make dentist appointment. That requires steps for me to go, well, why do I need to make a dentist appointment? Why does it matter? Instead, I'll just literally put it in the label of the alarm. Newsflash, that long sentence is gonna pop up when the alarm goes off, and you're gonna see it says, if you don't go to the dentist, you're gonna have to get a root canal in a month, and you're gonna spend a ton of money. Dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign, pain emoji, if there is one. Okay? Alarm, set it to recur every day of the week. You can turn it off when you follow through. But until then, let it run, okay? The last thing is be intentional about the tone. Pick something that you don't normally use. Put the title in all capitals. Bring it forward, make it novel, make it interesting and different, and make sure that there's no need for interpretation. Okay, that's just one example. I give you a ton. Post-it notes, put them everywhere. Set the alarms. Make it go off 3 times a day. Why not? Who cares? Do it. If it means that you'll get something done, do it. Write it on your hand. You guys remember that? Like when we used to write things on our hands, like when we didn't have a notes app in our phone. Yeah. If you're too young for that, that's kind of embarrassing for you. So, negative consequences, positive results and feelings, externalize the information, get it done because you can.